Assalamu alaikum friends, welcome to AFM 14 days revision crash course, and this crash course you can use for your exam for December 2022, for March 2023 up to June 2023 you can use this revision series. Okay, and if there is no change in syllabus in the next year, you can even use this another 1 year. I already have done a revision crash course for the uh, last sitting, that is up to June 2022. Now I'm going to do this for the new syllabus, that is from September 2022 to June 2023. So there will be 14 videos. Okay, this is like a revision for your AFM. Already I've uploaded all the lectures of AFM. I think there are 17 lectures. You can go and download all the AFM lecture. What you need to do is you need to go to my about section. When you go to my channel Sabi Akhtar, you have to go to the about section, and down when you go there'll be a link. You can see AFM lecture or ACCA material. When you click ACCA material, you will get the textbooks of AFM, SBL, SBR and Triple A. These four subjects are available. Both the revision text and the study text you will get the new ones, okay, the latest one, which you can download. And I have also made accessible my slides for you for AFM, AAA, SBR and SBL. So you just need to click the subject, relevant subject. If it's for example, if it's AFM lecture, okay, you want my AFM lectures, the slides, you just have to go and click AFM lecture. That's it. And you will get all the AFM lecture. You can download. For this revision series, there's a separate link. It's there on my about section on my channel. Everything is in one place. You just need to go and click AFM revision crash course, 14 days revision crash course. Okay, which you can use. Okay, this is the latest one. So let's start. The first topic for day one is, we don't have calculations. It is from your syllabus, section A of your syllabus, which is role and responsibility of the financial manager. Because in AFM you will be asked discussion question, theory questions will be asked. It's not only calculations, guys. You need to know how to write. You need to know how to write a report. You need to write strategic issues. You need to write non-financial issues. Okay, so this is for that. What area is, but remember guys, once again, this revision crash course does not guarantee that you do not have to go through the lecture. You have to go through the lecture, my lectures. Okay, if you don't want to read the textbook, no worries. Okay, you still have my lectures. My lectures are enough. If you have this doubt, will my lectures be enough for you to pass AFM? Yes, but provided you practice the questions on your own. You have to practice the revision kit questions. You have to practice the past paper question. Just watching my video will not make you pass this exam. You need to get that straight in your head. Okay, so provided, I'm assuming after watching my lecture, it is only for your understanding, you are doing questions on your own. Okay, you're doing the questions. I also have a whole AFM revision kit solutions in a separate playlist. You can go AFM revision kit solution. I have done it previously, not for this year. Okay, but you can use it because there is no major change in AFM syllabus from the last year to this year, which is a very good thing for AFM students, because you can still use those playlist, this revision kit solutions. Okay, if there is any change, I will always update it on my channel. Okay, if there is any changes, major changes in AFM, I will always notify you, so you don't have to worry about it, about the syllabus and all. Let's start with day one, role and responsibility of the financial manager. The thing is, in AFM, when a question is asked, you know the format of AFM paper, there are three questions. Question one is for 50 marks, question two 25 marks, question three 25 marks. All the three questions will have discussion question. Okay, so they will not label it, okay, this is from the role and responsibility of financial manager, this is from risk management, this is from investment appraisal. No, you will understand. Okay, you need to understand it is from which part of the syllabus. Okay, so let's start. Let's first, this is a guideline for you, what we are going to do for the 14 days. Plan for 14 days. Which topic are we going to cover in the first in the 14 days? Okay, So the first one is day one, which is the topic for this lecture, role and responsibility of the financial manager, which we are going to cover today. Day two will be investment appraisal. Day three is your international investment appraisal. Day four, financing decision. Day five, dividend decision. Day six, WACC, calculation of your WACC, your equity beta, asset beta, capital asset pricing model, everything. Most of them are calculation. Okay. Day seven, risk adjusted WACC and adjusted present value. Day 8, option pricing. Day 9, introduction to risk management. Day 10, exchange risk. Day 11, interest rate risk. Day 12, accusation. Day 13, business valuation. And finally, day 14 is your reconstruction. So if you see, all the topics are tested from your section A to section E. Section A is what? Role of senior financial advisor, right? Which we are going to cover today. Then section B, investment appraisal. Section C, accusation. D, reconstruction. E, risk management. If you see, they are not ordered in that order. They are not in that order. Like first it is this, then risk management. No, it is in any order. But order does not matter so much. What you need to know is what it contains. So what are the important points? Just collect the important points. Okay, this is also helpful for those people who have missed out on my lecture, who have short time left, who are doing multiple subjects in one sitting, who wants to finish this revision of AFM in short span of time. This video, 14 days video, is very effective for you people. Okay, so let's start. In this lecture, what are we going to focus? This is not a lecture, this is just a revision. Okay, short video. So what are we going to focus in this is format of the exam. Okay, we'll see what is the format of the exam, what are the key guidance to pass this paper, past exam history, which type of question from this area is mostly tested in your past paper. We'll see in which order, whether it is most in question 1 or 2 or 3. This will give you an idea. But please do not predict. Do not sit and start predicting, okay, this we get after every 3 seating, for example. So this year will get or this year will not get. No. You have to prepare every part of the syllabus because every part of the syllabus will be asked. Okay. Overview of the roles and responsibilities. Treasury department. Okay. What is the impact of the financial manager's decision? Exam focus. Now, let's start with format of the exam. So what is the format of the exam? The format of this exam is section A, as you know, one compulsory question. All are compulsory question, okay? Worth 50 marks. The only change in this year is from September, right? Is they have introduced 10 professional marks. They have introduced 10 professional marks out of that 50. So 10 professional, 40 technical marks in section A. Section B, 225 marks. Okay. There also we have professional marks. Okay. 5 for one question, 5 for the other one. So AFM is a 3 hour 15 minutes paper and it's a computer based exam. So that means when you practice your questions, okay, writing answers has to be on your computer, not on the paper. Okay, maybe first or the second time you are doing, maybe you can do it on a paper. Okay. Okay, so where did I stop? Yes, you have to practice it on a computer, but maybe first few attempts when you are doing a question, maybe you can do it on a paper, okay, if you want to. But I always assume better to do it in the computer from day one so that you get familiar. Because first time when you do, trust me, you will panic. You will do lots of mistakes. You will find the tools, how to highlight, how to cut, how to copy paste, how to use calculator, how to do calculation in Excel, which formula to use. It's good to make those mistakes because once you make mistake, you will learn. I always say do as many mistakes as possible and learn as quickly as possible rather than trying to do everything and correctly. And don't check answers before you do because in your real exam you cannot check the answer. You have to do it whether it's right or wrong. So this you have to practice from day one. Okay. Now let us go to the key topic area for AFM as a whole. Okay, you need to be a pro in this area for success in AFM. Like cost of capital, you should know how to find a cost of capital, whether it's for reconstruction, whether it's for acquisition, combined companies cost of capital, whether it's a single company, how to find the cost of capital, how to change the beta, asset beta, equity beta, gearing, re-gearing, all those things. I've covered all this in my lecture. You can go and check out my lecture if you want the detailed explanation. Because this is a revision, I will keep my video short and specific to the point. I will not explain in detail how to find cost of capital, what it includes. But as you know, briefly I will explain cost of capital includes two things: cost of debt, cost of equity. Cost of equity, you need asset beta, equity beta. Cost of debt, you need tax and all those things. Okay. Then capital investment, your net present value, right? The cash flows. Lots of workings are there. So please go and go through these areas. Mergers and acquisition, how to value a company using there are various methods: PE ratio, then asset based method, dividend valuation model, how to do that. Financing option, how do you finance? Through shares, through cash, mixed offer, you have to know it. Risk management, in terms of both currency risk and interest rate risk, using various derivatives like options, swap, forward, future. You have to know various methods. All this you have to know for both interest rate and exchange rate because you don't know which one you might get or you might get both. Emerging issues. What are the emerging issues? For this you have to read lots of articles and all. Okay, it's good. The more aware you are of the latest issues, it's good for you because you can write on it. But I'm not saying you have to be a pro or you have to be up to date and always stick to the news. It's not possible. But wherever you can get news through anything, maybe you are watching a news or you are reading some magazines, some journals, business journals, right? It's good. I mean, ethical consideration, ethical question will be asked. Okay, in a professional level, whatever paper you give, whether it is AAA, SBL, SBR, AFM, APM, always one question on ethics guaranteed you are going to get. So you have to be prepared for it. Okay, it could be from any part of the syllabus. Mostly it comes in section A. Okay, now so these are the areas that you have to be good. One area is missed, that is reconstruction. That also. Now we are going to talk about the 4 professional skills that are going to be tested from. It was tested in September, from September onwards. Okay, this is applicable for you in December because this video when I will be uploading it will be valuable for the people who are sitting in December because September exam already it went. So every exam question will test some or all of the following 4 professional skill. This was not there before September 2022. It was just introduced. Okay, these are the 4 professional skills. Number one, communication. See, in communication, how do you get the marks? Communication means how are you writing? Are you writing in a report format if they ask you to write in report? Are you using a proper heading? Are you writing the introduction? Are you writing a recommendation like conclusion? Are you writing the body part? Are you using proper subheadings? That is the meaning of communication. If you are showing all this, you will get the marks. Number two, skepticism. How do you show skepticism? See, professional skill does not mean you are writing extra points. No, you don't have to study this from anywhere, any textbook, anything. It is the way you are showing, you're presenting your answer. It is not what you are writing, it is the way you are doing it that matters. Sometimes you might be correct technically, but they asked you in a report format, you did not write in a report format. So you're going to lose marks, even if you are right. Even if the points that you have mentioned is right, because you didn't write it in a report format. Sometimes you might get the points, it's correct, but you didn't show your skepticism skill. What is the meaning of skepticism? See, if you have given SBL exam before this, you will understand all this very well. Because in SBL there are 5 professional skills. Okay, but for the people, most of you, I'm assuming you, this might be your first paper, or you might not have given SBL. Okay, so still have to explain you. Skepticism means you are challenging the viewpoint. See, in your exam, I don't know whether you have went through the past paper or not. If you went, you will understand some they give you two, three people, two, three stakeholders. Like one is financial manager, one is HR manager, one is sales manager, let's say. They will give some viewpoints. You know, they think we have to manage the risk. Some might say don't manage the risk. It's costly. Things like that. Different people will give different opinion. Okay, in your exhibit they will give you like that. So how can you show skepticism? Skepticism means you are challenging the viewpoint. If someone gives you a statement, let's say a financial manager is giving a statement, this has to be like this, you have to question. You cannot accept everything. Why you have to accept it? How are they saying it? Is it objective or are they being subjective? So you have to write it like this, that they might be correct, they might be wrong, they might be giving their own viewpoints which might not be which cannot be proved right through evidence. You have, so that's how you're going to show skepticism. You have to challenge the viewpoint if it's given to you. That is the meaning of skepticism. You're basically challenging the viewpoint, not accepting everything on the face value, whatever they say. Okay. Number three, commercial acumen. This is a little difficult because this means you should have some extra idea or knowledge about a thing. Industry, let's say, if you're writing certain things, let's say you're advising. Let's say it's an IT industry. Okay. See, in IT industry, there are some things which is applicable for that industry. It might not be applicable for the industry. Maybe the things that you have learned from textbook, managing risk, this thing. Okay. For example, let's say you have been learning health risk, reputational risk in your textbook. But because this is an IT firm that is given to you in your exam, you will have some additional risk that you might not have studied in the textbook. Let's say IT related skills, like there could be a risk of cyber attack, hacking risk, virus risk. All this are extra risk because it's an IT. So if you are able to point out this, it shows that you have a good knowledge of that industry. Understanding? Maybe you have not studied anywhere. You have studied or not, that's not, but if you are able to apply it appropriately to that, specifically to that industry, that means you're showing commercial acumen. You have a good knowledge of it. Commercial acumen means having a very broad knowledge of that thing. Okay, because when you're studying in the textbook, they just give you general risk. They do not say for this industry this is the risk, for that industry this is the risk. They will give you health risk, political risk, environmental risk, social risk, economic risk, right? But if it's an IT, you can show software risk will be there. You can talk about software. It might not be applicable to, let's say, food industry. For food industry, this risk are not very massive. The cyber attack risk and all those. So it depends. You have to use. It's like you should have this presence of mind. How well you are using it. Okay. So this also you can develop through reading, having a wider reading outside your textbook of specific industry. It's always good to have some understanding very of different industries. Like it could be an IT firm, it could be a technology company, right? Nowadays everything is in IT. It could be a public sector, it could be a charity, it could be any firm, government related firm, NGOs. So it's good to have an specific understanding of each industry, how it operates. Now, analysis and evaluation. In SBL, they are separate. but here it is together. Okay, analysis and evaluation means uh, basically evaluation. I will tell you the meaning of evaluation. Evaluation means pros and cons. Okay, whenever they say evaluate, you have to give pros and cons. Basically, for example, they are giving a hedging techniques, hedging strategy, various let's say three derivatives you have: option, swap, and future. So they tell you to evaluate. Professional skill is evaluate. How do you evaluate? Just give the pros, advantages, and disadvantages of the three method and decide on one. That is the meaning of evaluation. Analysis is also same, but analysis means how well you are using the exhibit from each. You might be given three, four exhibits, let's say, or three exhibits, let's say, for three questions. How are you using those information? Picking those information for your in your answer. That is the meaning of analysis. You're using the properly you're analyzing the material that is given to you, the information that is given to you. So make use of those exhibits. That is the meaning of analysis. Okay. For example, in your exhibit somewhere they must have written, let's say you are how do I say this? Okay, let's assume in your question, it's a risk management question. Okay, they are saying that this company is in a country which is politically unstable. Okay, somewhere in the exhibit they have written. In your answer, if you are making mentioning that thing, that this is because this is politically unstable, so they will face political risk. This means you have analyzed it properly. You will get mark for this analysis skill. This is how you're analyzing, because you have mentioned that point from the exhibit, that this country is unstable, politically unstable. This is the meaning of this is how you're showing your analysis skill. You understanding? So this is how you have to get the marks. Now, important thing, every section A question will have 10 professional skill marks. Okay, and this 10 will be out of this four. Either they might ask all the four, either some of this four, some or all of this four might come. Anything could come: skepticism, communication, but you have to be prepared for all the four. You have to know. Okay, section B, each question will contain 5 5. There are two questions in section B, right? 25 25. So 20 20 5 5. 5 is for professional. Okay, therefore total if you count, 10 for section A, 5 5 for section B, so 20 professional skill in AFM. 80 is for technical marks. This is a good thing. This is a good thing that AFM has done for you. Why? Because it's easier to show the professional skills. Even though it looks difficult initially, trust me, getting those professional skill is much easier. Why? Because it is same. Whatever the question you do, writing in a format of report is same, no? If you know the format of report, you will get your communication skill. If you know how to challenge the viewpoint, you will get your skepticism skill. If you have a great understanding of an industry, you will get the commercial acumen skill marks. If you know how to analyze, use your exhibits, and if you know how to show pros and cons, you will get those marks easily. So getting professional skill is easier. It's like when you're writing the answer along the technical marks you're getting, it's like I can say free 20 professional marks you are getting. Free marks. 20 free marks you are getting if you know how to do it. Provided you know. So that means you just have to work on those 80 marks rather than working on 100 marks. So it's easier now, I would say. Okay, so don't panic. Don't think it's something very new. Oh my God, how am I going to get the 20 professional skill marks? No, don't worry. It's the way you do, not what you do. So you don't have to write anything extra there. Okay, coming to the past exam. If you see, this is from September 2018. Okay, September 2018 up to December 2021. But you can take, I think, March, June 2022 also. The paper is not, it's not included here, but you can pick. But anyway, this will give you a trend idea. Okay, first let's start with ethical consideration. Ethical consideration, if you see, it has been asked in June 2019, September 2019, and September December 2020. Two times in question one time in question two. Okay, see, just because it did not appear in September 18, December 18, March 19, or September December 2021, do not predict it will not appear in your paper. Never. Ethical question will come. Okay, so be prepared for it. Next, discussion of strategic issues. If you see, it always comes in question one. Two times it came in question one. Even discussion of financial issues came in question one in the same year itself. Discussion of treasury function came in question one two times, question two once. Okay. Stakeholder discussion came two times in question three, one in question one. And behavioral finance came in question two and question one time. Okay. It does not mean that in other years it did not come, means it will never come. No. Before September 18, okay, that is your September 2018, all the questions are there in your revision kit only. They have been updated. Okay, all your revision kit question is nothing but past paper question only before September 18. They have been updated. So there you will have these questions. Because it is not included in this table, so there you will have questions on ethics, on strategic issues, on financial issues, on treasury function. Alright? So be prepared. But at least you will understand what type of questions you can expect in discussion. Now, coming to roles and responsibilities. These are some roles. Major one, primary role and responsibility of a financial manager is the one that is maximization of shareholders' wealth. See, in AFM, simplest way I will tell you how to decide on something, whether to accept a project or not, whether to hedge or not, whether to acquire a company or not, whether to reconstruct a company or not. Just see whether it maximizes the shareholders' wealth or not. If it does, go ahead. If it does not, don't. Simple. This one principle is connected in your AFM syllabus in all the parts of your syllabus. I will show you how. Let's start with investment appraisal. When you take on a project, why do we say accept a project with a positive net present value? Because it maximizes shareholders' wealth. Simple as that. So if it's positive, you accept. Very easy. They will not give you more than one project, don't worry. One project only they will give you. You have to find the net present value. If asked, sometimes adjusted present value you have to find, sometimes no. Just with net present value, depends. But if it's positive, done. Accept, because maximize shareholders wealth. Second area was what? Acquisition. You acquire, you come. Okay, when you can see it maximize shareholders wealth. How will you see that? If you see the value of the company, is it going up or not? Are you having the synergy benefit? Are the shareholders receiving more after being acquired or less? That's how you decide. What is another? Reconstruction and reorganization. There also, you see the value of the company. If it goes up, shareholders wealth are maximized, go ahead. Then risk management, hedging. When do you hedge interest rate and currency risk? Only when you can see that it is actually hedging. You will choose. For example, if you are hedging a foreign currency payment, you will choose a method which is giving you the lowest payment. And if it's a receipt, highest receipt, because that will maximize shareholders' wealth. Same for the interest. If it's a borrowing, lowest borrowing you will choose. If it's a lending, deposit, highest. That's how you are going to maximize shareholders' wealth. You see, all the parts of your AFM syllabus is connected to this one simple principle, one responsibility. But other than this, there are other responsibilities of financial manager also. What are they? Risk management, which we have studied. Efficient and effective use of resources. Investment selection, you have to select the investment based on positive net present value. How do you raise the finance? And you have to minimize the cost of capital. That is your responsibility. Distribution and retention. How do you distribute dividends? How do you retain? What amount are you reinvesting in the business? This all are the responsibilities of the financial manager. Financial planning and control. Communication with stakeholders, don't forget. You have to communicate with the stakeholders also, not just managing finance only. Internally, no, communicate. Now, coming to the treasury department. Treasury department have multiple responsibility. It has been asked in the exam. Even from your risk management section, this could be asked. Number one, short-term management of resources. Okay, here they manage the cash management, short-term cash management, like lending, borrowing. Who decides in a company? Who decides how much you have to lend and borrow? Financial manager, treasury department. That's why treasury department are very important. They should be very knowledgeable. They should have the skills. They should have enough relevant financial qualification. Okay, not anyone can be part of a treasury department, by the way. Okay, and this lending and borrowing are not small amount. It's for big major amounts. Okay, lending and borrowing. They will decide from which bank to take, at what rate of interest they have to borrow, at what rate they are going to lend. They will decide because they are managing the short-term cash management. No, if there is shortage of a fund in the company, it is the treasury department who will decide from which source they need to borrow. Currency management. They manage your currency. At what rate? Which derivatives are you going to use to manage your risk? Next, long-term maximization of shareholders' wealth. Yes. Raising long-term finance, treasury departments. Managing debt capacity, treasury department. Equity, how your equity will be structured. Are you going to take retained earnings? Are you going to issue right share, new share report? All this treasury department will decide. Investment decision also. In which project to invest, treasury department. How are you into acquisition and deconstruction, treasury department. Dividend policy, treasury department. Basically, you can see all the things that we are going to study in this AFM syllabus is responsibility of the treasury department. So in this way, it's easier for you to understand. Remember it like this. The whole AFM syllabus is the role of the treasury department. It's easier this way. That means dividend policy, financing policy, investment policy, everything treasury department. Right? Isn't it easy to remember it like this? Simple, right? Next, we have risk management. This is easier. Interest rate risk management, currency rate risk management, both treasury department. Now, this are for international group. Okay, these functions, what are they? Setting transfer price to reduce the overall tax bill. Okay, when you're transfer price, for example, when a parent is selling to subsidiary, subsidiary is selling to parent, what transfer price are you setting? You obviously want to charge, you want to set a high price in a country where the tax is low. Okay, because there you have to pay low tax. Basically, you are shifting the tax from a high tax country to low tax country. So you have to pay low tax. Your objective is to reduce the overall tax bill for your group, right? So setting that transfer price is the treasury department role. Okay, deciding which policy, which derivatives are you going to use, forward, future, option, swap. Treasury department will decide how much cash, through what medium you're transferring across international border. Treasury department's role. Netting and matching currency obligation. If you are having a obligation in one currency, let's say in dollar, you have to have an asset also in that currency, so it matches off. Your risk, your asset and your liability are netted off against each other. Now, assessing the impact of financial manager's decision. In the exam you may be asked to assess. Okay, these are the impact. One is strategic impact, financial impact. Strategic impact is long term. Okay, financial means in terms of finance. Regulatory impact, ethical impact, environmental impact of a financial manager's decision. So remember this: 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 impact. In exam, you might be asked any of these 5, 2 or 3 of these 5, or just one of these 5. But most of the time, what I have seen, strategic, financial, and ethical impact, most of the time they ask. Okay, at least strategic and financial impact. So be prepared. Let's go through each of this impact in detail. If it's a strategic impact, you have to write about what? Basically, is your new investment, does it bring any competitive advantage? Okay, this you will only understand through reading the case study. What advantage they have that you don't have in the project? Maybe they have labor that you don't have, maybe they have staff expertise, maybe they have the technology that you don't have, maybe they have resources, access to physical resources, infrastructure that you don't have. So all those things depend on the case study. Okay, second, does it fit with the environment? Does that project that you are taking fits with your environment? Does it have the same culture as yours? All those things are strategic impact. See, strategic means long term. Okay, having competitive advantage is something which is going to affect long term. If it fits with the environment, something which is going to affect long term. It's like, see, it's like marriage proposal only. When you are going to accept a partner, right, it's not for short term you are taking that decision. You will always see whether their values and your values are aligning with each other or not. Are you going with each other or not in terms of your values, opinions, thoughts, because it's a long term decision. Same like this for business strategic impact. It has to go well with your culture, with your ethical values, norms, traditions, and all. The project that you are taking. Use of resources. Do you have the resources? Do you have the expertise? Do you have the qualifications to take that project? Do you have so things like this? Stakeholder reactions. Will stakeholder accept it? Are the bank going to give you the loan if you go for that project? Is it too risky? Are your shareholders going to accept it? Are your creditors going to accept it? So these things you have to write. If a question asks you like this, if it will ask, especially in question one. Especially in question one, when you have to write a report, they ask this. It's not, see, the report is not fully calculation what you are thinking. Okay, net present value, net present value, or risk management, or acquisition, merger, or reconstruction. No, you will have to write a lot. A lot means a lot. Because calculation, what happens is you are all the time practicing calculation. So by the time you go to the exam, you know this is how I have to start my net present value. I start with the sales, then variable cost I deduct, then fixed cost I deduct. You know that. Everyone knows it. But writing part, what about writing part? No one pays much attention to this. So I always I'm emphasizing this on this more. Please pay attention to your writing also. Because your pass or failure is not only on your calculation. Trust me, if you are very strong in your calculation, only on your calculation alone will not help you to pass AFM. I have seen many students, bright students, who are very like super calculator. They're very fast. All your calculations are accurate, perfect, but they still fail AFM at 39, 40, 45. They still fail AFM. I'm telling you this thing from experience. I've seen it. I don't want you to repeat the mistake. Please, 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 please. I'm requesting you, please write. Work on your writing part. I'm not worried about your calculation. I know you will crack it. You will do it anyhow. Because there's a fixed method of doing calculations. If this is not right, means you know if you're wrong. If it's not this, then it's not that. But writing, it's like an open-ended. Everyone could be right in their own opinion. Some might write this, some might write that. For some, this project might be acceptable, other that might not be acceptable based on some other points. That's why it is a challenging, because you don't know whether you're right or not. What is right, what is wrong, you don't know. You have no idea. But please, you have to improve your writing. At least you can see the marking scheme to review your answers later on. You have to do that, not just write and leave it. Assuming you're right, you have to check back with the answer always. Or make or pay someone to check your answer for you, or make sure your friends check, someone who is capable enough to do that. Okay. Impact on risk. Always impact on risk. If you're taking a project, see the risk, whether your business risk will be too high, financial risk will be too high. This you can check based on equity beta, asset beta, and all those things. Coming to the financial impact. For financial impact, see the share price. Maybe they might tell you to calculate share price. Maybe they might not tell. Even if they don't tell, you have to calculate. Why? To show, write about financial impact. To show the impact on share price. Did it increase or not after the project? Likely impact on financial statement. This they will ask. Maybe mostly in reconstruction or acquisition merger question, this is asked. Show the impact on financial statement. Maybe they will give you a financial statement and you have to change the figure. Not all the figure, some figure. Then impact on cost of capital. This also. So for financial impact, if they ask, it is this three. Either share price, either financial statement, either cost of capital, or if you are unlucky. I'm sorry to use the word unlucky. It's because it's a bit too much. You might be asked all the three. I've seen a question where all the three has been asked. I would not say unlucky also. In that case, you'll be lucky actually. Because the more marks goes in calculation is better for you, right? You can score more marks. Regulatory impact. For regulatory impact, what type of industry the firm operates in. See, whenever regulation comes, no, always check the industry, because some industries are highly regulated, like banks, public interested company, insurance company, pension company, banks, hospitals. These are highly regulated industries. Some industries, they are little flexible. They're not so much regulated. If you are freelancer, if you are what do I say, a small shop, supermarket, you will not be highly regulated, right? That's why industry. Which industry are you operating in? whether the firm is listed or not. Yes, if you are listed, you will be regulated. If you're not unlisted, you will not have to, you're not regulated that much. Ethical impact. For ethical impact, you have to see how stakeholders are treated. Let's say it's an agriculture company, how the farmers are treated. Are you using child labor? How are you treating your employees? How are you treating your staff? How are you treating your customer? Are you giving them a fair, reasonable price, or charging too high, or what? What are the working conditions? All those things. It will be given in the case study. Don't worry. You have to make the maximum use of the exhibit for this ethical issues. This is something which you cannot memorize and come. Okay. Clarity and transparency. Are your financial statements clear? Are they transparent? Are what you are saying clear through your actions? All this will give you ideas to write your ethical issues. For environmental impact, sustainable development. Is the project or accusation, if you're acquiring, are they sustainable? See, to know whether it's sustainable or not, I'm asking you this question. This answer will be there in the exhibit. You have to read and decide. Okay. Pollution. Does it create pollution? If it creates, obviously you will not accept it, right? You will not advise it. Social and cultural factor. All those things. See, now the problem comes. When you have given all this impact, some impact will be positive, some impact will be negative. It is impossible that everything is positive. No pollution, sustainable also, treating staff also well, in terms of finance also is good, everything is no, it never happens like this. Maybe in imaginary world you can imagine, but in real world it never happens. Neither the question that you will get will have all the positive. You will have some positive impact, some negative impact. Okay, finally the conclusion that you give after all this, it's up to you. It's from student to student, it varies. Okay, some of you might say, okay, based on finance it is positive, but based on environmental is negative. So now it's up to you whether you will accept the project or not. Whether you will advise them to go ahead with the project or not. Some of you might say no, don't accept, even if finance is positive, but in terms of environment or ethical is negative. So you might say, in the long term it might have an impact on the reputation, so better not accept the project. Both of you are right in their own way. So you can write, but you have to justify if you write. Okay, you have to say based on what impact you are accepting or rejecting the project. That you have to conclude. When you're concluding, you have to say, you just cannot say accept the project. You just cannot say reject the project. That statement you cannot give like the no straightforward answer in AFM. Or you might give conclusion like this also, that yes, it is advisable to go ahead with the project provided they take care of environment and ethics in the future, or they do some actions to improve the environmental issues. Like this also you can give. It's a good way of giving conclusion, your recommendation, right? So this is how. But it will always be a problematic for you because you cannot decide. Question will always be like that in AFM. Some positive, some negative. Never all negative, never all positive. So don't assume that answer will be very straightforward, very easy for you to decide. Or everything is positive, then only I will accept the project. If everything is negative, I will reject it. No, it's up to you. Okay, and don't waste too much of time. Don't waste more than 1 minute to decide. I'm telling you this. Some I've seen some candidates wasting hours and hours thinking, should I accept the project? Should I reject the project? Wasting on that time on that. You have other two questions to do. Mostly this is asked in question one only, because question two and three are very specific. According, like mostly risk management and acquisition merger, so they are specific to that point. But question one, most of the time, they ask this impact. There they can ask lots, right? There only you have to write a lot, and also your professional marks are there. So be very careful. Okay. Now we are coming to exam focus. So we are almost over with this in exam. Okay. The topics in this chapter are unlikely to be sufficient to be tested in a full question. See, all this topic that you have just went through, environmental issue, ethical issue, regulatory issue, financial issue, strategic issue, uh, they will never be asked as a full question. They will be asked as part of some questions. Okay, part of some questions. Maybe some will be asked in question one, some of them might be asked in question three under risk management. You never know. It could be asked in any part of the question, but it will be asked as a part of a question, not full question. Okay, and subheadings that just now we have identified, right? Regulatory impact, strategic impact, financial, very helpful, very helpful. Use it in your exam. This is a guideline. It will give you a structure to your answer, especially if a question asks you to comment on other factor. Okay, especially if you have previously done a calculation and after that they are telling you to discuss. For example, question is investment appraisal. Okay, okay, based on net present value you are getting a positive net present value, but they are telling you to consider other factors whether to accept this project or not. Then that time this structure will be very helpful. Strategic impact, financial impact, non-financial impact, ethical impact, these things you have to discuss that time. Other factors, it comes under other factors. Okay, if calculation has been asked in the previous part, later part you can discuss this. And finally your conclusion based on net present value and other factors. That's up to you. Your conclusion is your conclusion. Okay, but subheadings, use it, this will help you. This is a proper structure and this is how you're going to score in AFM. You can check out my SBR, sorry, not SBR, AFM revision kit solutions for that, especially question ones which I have done, to check out the layout of the report and how I've written it and how I have done it. Or maybe you can check the answer behind and see how it is done. So that's it for this lecture. Now, next day 2 we'll be discussing on investment appraisal. Okay, so see you in the next day 2, and till then thank you for watching. And if you have not subscribed to my channel, please do subscribe, because I know that lots of my videos are watched by people who have not subscribed to my channel. Okay, if you subscribe to my channel you'll be notified when my next video is out, rather than keep on searching me every time or losing my videos here or there. It's better to watch the videos in an order. It helps you a lot. Okay, and it builds you that confidence that you need for this AFM exam. Okay, so best of luck and thank you for watching, and see you in the next video.